requests a day. Those are just completely different now. So it's an exciting space, but I've been working for myself for the last 6 years as I've traveled the globe, and so it's an amazing thing that we are developing here, and yeah, super excited for the webinar as well. So let's get after it, I guess. Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks, Matthew.
My name is Robert Lunte. I'm the founder and CEO for a company called CourseCREEK. We've been in business for 7 years. Matthew is our director of lead generation, and I want to thank everybody for being here this morning. We're going to go through some details in regards to the very effective strategy of working with LinkedIn today. You definitely have the right team. And by the way, we eat our own dog food at CourseCREEK. We use this technology, and Matthew actually runs it for us as well. And let's get after it and learn about LinkedIn, because it's definitely one of the best things that you want to get after in terms of lead generation. Ready to go.
Sounds good. So the first question for you guys related to like LinkedIn in general, and there are a ton of lead gen tools that are out there, and a lot that work with LinkedIn. Like, how do you go about finding the right one, or looking for what's out there and being like, "Oh, this one's going to work for me," just because there are so many like lead gen tools that plug into LinkedIn itself? I'd love to hear your insight around that.
Yeah, certainly the conversation about what software, and you're right, Sam, I can think of 30 off the top of my head. You know, there's Lemlist, there's a lot of sales systems out there. There's Expandy, HeyReach, Dripify. My most experience is with Expandy. I'm not promoting them or anything. It's a solid tool. They were one of the larger ones in the space, also one of the most expensive. There's also HeyReach out there as well. These are tools that and I think we're at an interesting point with just general marketing. Everyone you see these agentic flows, you know, N8N and make.com, and look, I've automated my whole life and I fired half my company and all this sort of stuff. And it's always, okay, you did a lot of cool things really quickly, but it's always down to the conversation. And I think we're at a bit of a crossroads on LinkedIn. And I know LinkedIn is suffering with the amount of AI comments and the amount of AI tools that are on the platform and bogging down their servers, where they're starting to implement restrictions on simple comments on LinkedIn. And I find as the platform is becoming dehumanized, if we focus on being more human, having conversations, not just connecting and pitch slapping everyone that comes our way, and hey, did you get there? You know, let's get on a call, or here's my PDF and here's a wall of text, all these terrible tactics that we all suffer through anytime we load LinkedIn, hopefully on a daily basis. And so there is that interesting transition happening where there is this absolute pile of garbage on the platform where we can really shine if we just start to come out from behind keyboards, ask questions, introduce ourselves without having to try to convert someone, build social proof into our messaging with individuals. There is now 1 billion people on this platform. So while it is going through growing pains, I honestly believe, because everyone's complaining about their reach, everyone's complaining about the quality of posts, but at the same time, there's 1 billion people on the world's largest B2B platform out there. And some of these tools will allow you to build a network at a cadence that you can actually project out. And if you said that to someone on TikTok or Instagram, they would fall all over themselves to be able to do that, whereas you can do that on LinkedIn. So there's opportunities there. It is harder, but I believe it needs to be a tool in your tool belt for sure.
Yeah.
In regards to systems, as the end user and owner of an agency, one, again, reiterating that it's very effective. If you do the work, if you actually go in and you take the time, ultimately when you put these things together, you're going to be getting the attention of folks through direct messaging. And if you take the time to go out and actually work it, and you have someone like Matt helping you out, it's very effective. I've gone through 3 different software systems in the last 7 years, and finally landed on Expandy. So if you're looking for practical advice on which platform, I think there's a lot of really great ones out there. Expandy as an end user has been the best one we've used so far, and Matt's certified pro on it, and it's very robust. It's a good system. Yeah.
And then like that's the tool that you guys are mainly using for the lead gen within LinkedIn, Expandy, like
That's what
specific to LinkedIn.
that's what CourseCREEK is using, and
Yeah.
it integrates with Sales Navigator and provides the automation and all that jazz, which
Cool.
I
Cool.
think we'll be getting into. Yep.
And Matthew and Robert, you both kind of touched on it a little bit. Matthew, you expanded on this like human element of like conversation. Like how did you choose Expandy? Like just so when you're evaluating software in this space of lead gen and in LinkedIn, what are the criteria for you to evaluate something like that? Are you looking at like, I know price is probably a factor for a lot of people, ease of use, but like what are the things that stand out for you that you looked for and saw that Expandy had? Just so everyone here, we can get a better idea and like a really clear understanding of like, okay, I'm going to look at Expandy and I'll, as they explore other systems, what are the flags, the green flags, red flags to look for to be like, oh, yeah, that's not going to work and that should stay away from that kind of a platform, or this is the kind of stuff to look for. I'm curious if there's anything insight around that.
Yeah, when Expandy, and I've been with them for I think 5 or so years now,
Oh, good.
4 or 5
Okay.
years. Yeah. So as an agency operator of their tool, they were very pioneering when they came out. They used things like proxies. Now I'm going to nerd out here for a sec, but they were using proxies,
Do it.
kind of like a VPN if you're not sure. And then whereas everyone was using browsers, so Chrome extensions, which were easily found out and flagged. So when you start using these tools, which everyone knows is against the terms of service on LinkedIn, but everyone's doing it. And so when you start using these tools, it's the feature set that they offer. And Expandy, admittedly, has more challenging UX UI, but it's the features that they allow someone to implement. So a lot of automation, certainly on the agency level, it allows me to do things that you wouldn't get with a regular campaign or regular account, which is almost vital now for being able to manage the number of accounts that we manage. On top of that, you'll be really well served with a Hey Reach or something like that. That'll be much more clean. As a single user, I think it's $10 cheaper a month. I've always been served with high quality software, and when I was in the market, Expandy just sang to me, and I've been with them ever since. And so I've had people who are like, "Hey, if you manage this other one, I'll pay you for that," and I'm just not interested in deviating. Of course, the offer has expanded, and now we started to bring in some other tools. There's the Growth Machine, which is a really interesting tool. Now you're in a premium price. Expandy is in the middle of that. Hey Reach is going to be a little bit cheaper, but ultimately, it's keeping your account safe, respecting the limits because you will just simply get flagged. And this year has been very challenging for clients. So I'm certainly not telling anyone what to do. I started with running spreadsheets manually. I would scrape the data out of Sales Navigator, and then I would just simply handle this manually. I was booking calls. I started to look at automation, immediately got flagged. And then I started to look at very specific tools that when I'm dealing with software, I want a premium product that is tailored for that. It's not just a bolt on, oh, we do this, and now we just offer this, which has always been a struggle for me. So
Mm-hmm.
Expandy hasn't wavered. They've stayed in their lane. They've obviously added cool integrations if you want to get creative. But it is a challenging space. It works, but it's challenging. And you can hear my tone is cautionary as we go towards the second half of 2025, because LinkedIn is still sending out a lot of emails saying, hey, I see what you're doing, even though they've admitted at one of their own corporate events that if they completely crack down on this, they would lose half their platform. And so it's an interesting, yeah, they at their own in Ireland at their own corporate event, they said this. So they know what's going on. It is a pay to play platform. So yes, you'll look at $100 for a tool a month, but you will not be able to do any of this without a Sales Navigator account because that gives you LinkedIn Premium. And
Yeah.
I'm telling you now, do not even try to get around that. You pay to play on LinkedIn, and you set up yourself with a strategy, and you just get going and get after it.
Cool. That's really helpful, and it's clear that it's like the evaluation for you is based on like the capabilities it has and its ability to grow within that space. And you said it's like you've seen it grow over the years. And by the way, for everyone on the call, like this is not a promotion for these specific tools. We are
Yeah.
really just sharing and understanding what works, what connects to LinkedIn, what produces results. Like
Yeah,
we have no investment or interest in promoting certain tools over others. This is literally
Yeah,
trying to
for
share the
sure.
value of
well,
these tools.
the question clearly is, what are the platforms that you
Yeah.
use? So I'm just
Yeah,
answering the question. It's
no, for
not.
sure. And there's no
Uh,
affiliate links. Yeah,
I mean,
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
not.
I
yeah,
just
no,
making it
yeah,
clear
for
for everyone.
sure.
You know, we're
Yeah.
here just trying to share the what works, what doesn't, how we're reevaluating these tools and selecting them.
Yeah,
Sam,
yeah,
you told me to make sure that they get value. So
yeah,
best way I can give them value is yeah,
Yeah.
get this system. But no, we're not making any money. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So now, like you mentioned Sales Navigator and it being this kind of essential barrier that, you know, if you're really going to leverage one of these lead gen tools with LinkedIn, Sales Navigator is almost like the required piece, pay to play. And I've seen
yeah,
it as well. Like I've done a lot of LinkedIn work myself, and without Sales Navigator, it's like trying to navigate. It's like you're trying to walk in the dark. It's really difficult. You
yeah.
can't do a lot. It's hard to search and filter. So around like Sales Navigator, a lot of people just scratch the surface of what's possible. And I myself
Right.
have felt that like in Sales Navigator, feeling like I'm just like Pandora's box, like, oh my God, there's so much here. And I only know how to create a list. You know, like that's
Sure.
kind of what I've done on it. And I haven't really done much beyond that. So is there like, how are you using it? Like, what are the things to do with LinkedIn Sales Navigator that I think maybe is more in depth or people aren't really aware of that could really boost the lead gen capabilities that it has?
Yeah, Sales Navigator used to be the holy grail of business data, and I do not believe that's the case anymore. You have Apollos, you have Zoom Info, you have Clay, things like that, where this data is coming all over the place now. It's coming from every sort of falling out of the windows. Whereas Sales Navigator owned the space at one point. I would say, you know, what some of the frustrations are if your list is 75% right, it's not completely wavered or you know, in AI they would call it hallucinating, but it's if it hasn't given you're going after a founder in the US and you end up with someone in Australia that is a partner or an owner, and you'll just get these completely obscure connections inside of Sales Nav. So if you have a
Mm.
list of 75% right, I think you're in the right space. That's what I tell my clients. I have, and I think it'll be in the resources. I created a 35-minute video on how to throw Sales Navigator around. It's on YouTube. It's a fairly new video. When you're dealing with Sales Navigator, there's a lot of data that is going to be implied. So, okay, 1 billion users on the platform. I'm told 400,000 of those are active users, meaning they log in once a month. And then there's 100,000 or so that I'm told are people who log in every day. And so it's the number, not 100,000, 100 million, pardon me. The numbers are working against you to just go in and grab a list of someone who may or may not ever see a connection request that you send out there, or they've changed jobs, or they've retired, and that sort of thing. So understanding a lot of implied data, understanding filters that will help you understand if that person's an active user or not. For example, have they posted on LinkedIn? Now, that's a filter you can use in Sales Navigator. Now, it used to be called posted on LinkedIn in the last 30 days. Um, I'm assuming that's still the same metric. So if someone's posted, it's fair to say that that's an active user of LinkedIn. That would be implied. I've had clients where you can't source gender, but you can now, because of the use of pronouns, you can use she and her. You can start to find these people with the more prominent use of pronouns on their profiles. So
Yeah.
understanding that it's okay if you want to find a subsection of society, you can do that inside with various tactics. And I do speak about that in this video that is on YouTube. And yeah, it is a tool that should be in everyone's wheelhouse. Yes, it's going to cost you $100 a month on top of your Expandy subscription or PayReach or whatever tool you decide to use. And on top of that, if you've never used it, you'll get a 30-day free trial. This isn't a promo. I don't have any codes, but if you have a friend who is a first degree connection who is on the Sales Navigator, they can actually go to the top right of the account, and there's a little promo code they can give you, which gives you another 30 days. So you get 2 months, $200 worth of free access to this platform to see if it works for you. And then you can start pulling lists and put them into your sequencer, your automation tool.
Yeah.
You can also upload CSV files if you're pulling them from Apollo or Clay or anything like that. These tools all accept various ways of populating the data that you're going to use.
Okay.
We've got some questions coming in
Yeah.
in regards to investment, and I just want, again, from the user, from the business owner perspective, our agency offers all the marketing stuff that we're not even going to talk about today, other kinds of services you guys may be aware of. And I just tell you, as an end user, the best value, and like if you have a marketing budget and you're trying to figure out, well, do I want to do paid media? Do I want to do social media? Do I want to maybe do a lead gen thing like with LinkedIn? I'm telling you, the best value, in my opinion, is LinkedIn. It is. You get this rolling, and again, you're going to have to work on it a little bit. It's not, just sit back and let things happen like paid media. You have to get in there and still chat with people a little bit. But if you're willing to do a little bit of the work every morning, and you've got the right platform, you've got someone like Matt helping you out, that is the best value, because it's comparatively, as you look at the numbers I put in the chat system, it's comparatively like not that expensive compared to other marketing options. And of course, you get like a real relationship with people and can close business. So
Yeah.
it's a great value. Yeah.
Yeah. And by the way, like I don't, for those of you that are on the call that may not have done a lot of cold email outreach, a lot of these marketing systems that exist that like Apollo, and there's tons of data sets of employees and companies and contact records. Now, a lot of times those tools are used, those data sets and those lists are, you kind of put it into an email sequence and you start, hitting people with emails and reaching out to them. But that whole industry has changed in the last year and a half, and it is difficult to get people's inboxes. And that's why LinkedIn that's why we're seeing it as a company. I know Robert and Matthew are seeing this as like a real, this is the way to get to people's inbox and get real conversations going with business owners. And who you're speaking to when you reach out to them. It's a little less, murky. It's like, okay, I know this person. So some of the questions that I want to address here. First, Matthew, we'd love to have that link for that YouTube video where you go through the description of things on, was it around LinkedIn, and was it Sales Navigator, et cetera?
Correct. I did drop it in the chat there, and I could drop it again throughout the conversation. And I just want to be clear: there's no self-promotion. It's a free video. It's a gift of listening to me talk over Sales Navigator screen for 35 minutes. Put most people to sleep, to be honest with you. But yeah,
the gift of listening to you talk. That sounds great.
Yeah.
One of the questions I thought I want to have addressed here is, like, when you have multiple avatars, so multiple customer profiles to sell to, is there like a recommendation on LinkedIn for content or outreach to that? You've got kind of multiple types of customers you're trying to target.
Hey, I'm gonna jump in real quick as the end user, and then I'm gonna let Matt sort of riff on a deeper dive. Again, as the user, as the customer, as somebody who has a profile that's very similar to our attendees. One of the things I love about these systems and Expandy is that we can run campaigns to multiple different ICPs, different profiles. So we have a campaign all set up for executive coaches. We have a campaign set up for healthcare companies. We have a campaign set up for people in companies like MyQuest for partnerships and that sort of thing. And you can toggle it on and off. So maybe one week we do this, and then the next week we do the other. So it's really super cool that way. And it doesn't cost you any extra to do that.
Cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
So, Matt, do you want to say something on that?
Yeah, absolutely. There's nuances to this, and you get sort of comfortable with, if someone wants to target lawyers, for instance, they're notoriously hard nuts to crack, to have conversations with. And I've tested this on many different levels. I've run a lot of money in ads for lawyers. I've run ads on LinkedIn for them as well. I've run outreach to them, and you start to understand the nuances. So depending on your audience, you really have to sit back and be like, what are their trigger points? What do they really care about? Are they looking to save money? Are they looking to save time? Are they looking to make money? Do they want to elevate their status? You really have to sort of pull back the layers of that onion and try to figure out what is the pain point of this person, because it's not always making money. It's saving time. It's whatever, health, relationships. So you really have to know what you're going after there. And a small little whimsical thing that I have constantly noticed is it's easy for me to connect and have conversations with people in the UK, but the Irish will not connect with me and have conversations with me. And you would look at a map and say, hey, those are two pretty easy, same geo. Very different. The Irish are like lawyers on LinkedIn. They are notoriously hard. I don't know if anyone's Irish in here, but they're notoriously hard to have conversations with. And yeah, and I don't think it's just because my father was born in Scotland. They don't know this when I reach out to them. They're just understanding, and you'll see that in your automation. You'll see the nuances of your particular ICP.
I can see Anne from Ireland giving a good chuckle there behind the screen. Porfirio had a good question, and I think it speaks again to the power of LinkedIn. Porfirio is asking, like, he based in Latin America, many sales systems suggest that email is the most effective, but he finds LinkedIn to be more personal and direct. And I think everyone on this call, Porfirio, would agree that LinkedIn is more personal and direct for this day and age, because email is just so inundated with so much cold outreach right now. And if you want to get into an Outlook inbox, good luck if you're out of their network. Like cold email outreach to an Outlook inbox is virtually impossible right now, but Gmail is still possible and some other servers are possible, but just wanted to answer that there. There's a question as well around the difference between LinkedIn Premium and LinkedIn Sales Navigator. So I guess I wasn't aware there was a difference between the two. I assume my understanding, LinkedIn Premium is LinkedIn Sales Navigator. It's the same system, just a different brand change. No?
Yeah, it is confusing. LinkedIn Premium, I think, is around $60 a month, but does not include Sales Navigator. However, if you pay that 100 for Sales Nav, it is a LinkedIn Premium account by default as well.
I see. Okay.
Yeah. And the Sales Navigator Core is your cheapest access. It's all you need. You don't need any of these advanced or pluses, I think they call them now, unless you're running a team of 10 and you're willing to spend $1,500 a month or something on Sales Navigator products.
Yeah. Okay. So, another question from Neil: how often do I need to post something? How active do I need to be to generate interest and responses? It's a great question.
Yeah, obviously you give to the platform, you get. Saying that, it used to be very straightforward, but now people are really struggling. And creators are starting to open up. You see them talking about Substack. You see them talking about TikTok, and so there's a lot of pressure on LinkedIn right now where people aren't getting that reach anymore. And so obviously you post. I find my posting, because I'm maybe a little too pithy, is great for retargeting. So a client that used to work with me, or someone who I've had a conversation with, and then they see my post and like, oh, there's that Matt guy, he's still alive, I should give him a call. And so that's what I find my posting is. And one thing that is vitally important about LinkedIn is that it's a subscription service. So when someone connects with you, look at them as they have subscribed to you, because you can now engage with their content. So you have that call with someone, they didn't buy, they didn't onboard, but then they posted a month later, and you can like and comment something. We're not pitching, we're not selling in the comments, but now instead of you sending that, hey, did you want me to put a ribbon on that for you, or any kind of bothersome outreach follow-up methods, you can now be visible for free with a little effort inside of LinkedIn, and you can basically just haunt people, which is completely acceptable on LinkedIn because you're giving to their content, and you just hit that little bell if you want to be notified that whatever their name is posted, and there you are making the first comment and like, and they cannot escape you, and they appreciate the engagement.
Yeah, that's so funny, right? Instead of sending a follow-up email, you're able to actually comment on a post they make, and as like a reminder.
I think we all should still send those emails, but at some point we should just kind of back off and know our place. And so yeah.
Well, it's it's the difference between a soft pitch and a hard pitch, right? It's like, like buy my service versus, hey, I'm still here. And this is what we do, right? Like it makes a difference. And some people like the they don't realize it, but then they see your comment and they're like, oh yeah, we had this problem come up again. Let me talk to Matt.
Yeah.
So that's a great tactic. Now, and these automation tools, some of them comment on, let's say, leads you target on Sales Navigator, right? Is that possible? Like comments and posts?
Yes, yes, you can. Expandy, HeyReach doesn't do this, but there are AI comment bots. Um, my own personal experience, I know some people love them, and I think Robert will step in with that for sure. But my own personal experience is on my personal profile, I tested it for a couple months because I like to test everything before it goes to any clients. It was quite vanilla. That's okay. The tool was being developed. It was not, like I said, I have a real, I guess the best way to say it is a real air about the way I engage on the platform. Quite pithy, making a joke of everything. And so when something that is well researched and super supportive and wildly professional gets put out there, I just look like I'm using a bot. However, I have found that attaching these things to a company page with keywords or hashtags that you want to target has been actually quite successful at getting engagement and quite significantly building followers of 5 to 10 a day sometimes, because these
Wow.
tools will go out and make comments on posts that are um, in whatever niche you're targeting. Now, you kind of have to
Mhm.
let Jesus take the wheel on where that post was created, what language that post was created in. It is a new territory for everyone, but I have heard of these successes on the platform. Saying that, LinkedIn is cracking down, and now even if you manually post, some people are restricted to only 20 posts, 20 comments a day. So
Hmm.
because they're just tired of it. So dynamic situation for sure. Interesting, worth a test. Tools aren't expensive.
Yeah.
Um,
And
s-
oh, go ahead, Robert. Go ahead.
yeah, real quick, he's right. So it's sort of ironic. Matt recommended this service to me. So
Yeah.
here's the link here. That is an affiliate link. I think I make
Yeah.
20 bucks on that or whatever. This system called Power In. It's super simple. I think I paid for the annual for it's like $600 for the year, or 500 bucks for the year.
I think you mentioned it the last webinar as well.
I did. It's
Yeah, yeah,
just
yeah.
I think it's really super cool. It's a bot that you put in search terms. So for our business, I've put in e-learning, instructional design, and learning management systems, things that are related to e-learning and course creation. And so anytime anybody out on LinkedIn mentions those terms, Rob bot will jump in and reply and make a comment that is great. And you can also set the tone. So you can make it short and casual or long and professional, corporate or funny or whatever. So you can adjust the tone. I thought, why the hell wouldn't I try this? $600 a year. I can at a minimum, I'm going to increase my activity out at LinkedIn, which is something I don't have time to do. So at a minimum, so I ran this thing, and immediately I started getting meetings. And I would meet with people, and well, where'd you hear about us? Well, you made a really smart post with my comment out there, and I thought it seemed like you knew what you're talking about, so I want to talk to you about my project. And it's very passive. You just turn it on and leave it and walk away, and it just runs. So I don't know. In my opinion, for $600 a year, enough to just stir up a little bit of mud out at LinkedIn, that's totally worth it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, with a billion people, it's
yeah,
like,
I mean, Power In, it's just great. It's just great. I think it's really great. Now, it's not gonna change your life. It's just a little side hustle. But without it, I wouldn't have activity out at LinkedIn. And yeah, I still get, maybe 2 or 3 meetings a month out of it.
and then that one's, is that connected to it's doing the posts and comments from on your personal LinkedIn for you, or is it for your,
You can
like your
choose either
CourseCREEK?
one. I'm doing
Okay,
personal, but you can do
cool.
either personal or from the company.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. And that's, speaking to like, it's, and Matthew, you mentioned this early on in our conversations, not on a webinar, but it's the consistency of staying out there with your promotional activities that creates the reward over time. It's not always the big impact you get right away, and these tools can really help create that consistency where you don't have 20 minutes, 30 minutes a day, or you just don't, sometimes it's just too overwhelming to just log into LinkedIn and just start sending messages again. So it can
Yeah.
be a great way to just guarantee that you're going to get that dust stirred up in that activity, and your company name or your profile name out there and engaging with the right content and the right people. So I think
Agreed.
that's a really a good thing to highlight. And Penny asked the name of the bot. It's right there. And
Power in.
power in. Yeah.
Yep.
I do think engagement is one of the most overlooked aspects of LinkedIn. And going back to
Mhm.
consistency, you can't go to the gym just 2, 3 times. You have to get going and get up and go after it. But
Yeah.
liking, commenting, and I am finding in my own copy, because I do send quite a lot of cold email and send a lot of messaging, that if we're going to engage, we might as well engage in a way that really shines our personality, that really shows who we are, because people are done with the vanilla. Everything vanilla is a bot nowadays. I even replied to someone. I think there was even a spelling error. Sometimes I leave them in there to show that it's not a bot. And they even said, "Oh, this looks like an automated message." Like, you cannot win these days on these platforms, but it is like everything. Everyone thinks everyone's a bot, but it is a platform where you give, and you just get you'll see your engagement go up. You'll see your followers go up. You'll see everything that you want come back to you when you give to that person's profile. And of course, if you are following all your, your top 100 potential clients, and you hit that bell, you get a notification that they posted, you are now in their feed, getting the eyes on you that you want, and you'll just see it across all your analytics. Maybe give it a go, and go back and have a look at your last 30 days, and don't stop.
Yeah. And Neil has a great question, like personal or business, why would I engage in anyone other than the business account? And to clarify that, like the business account would be like my personal account is just, it's my LinkedIn. Yes, it shows I work for MyQuest. That's my LinkedIn though. It's not MyQuest's LinkedIn, but MyQuest has a LinkedIn profile. It's a business page, and it, highlights the
Yeah.
website about the business. So, and Matthew mentioned that he prefers to have it reach out. Like if he is gonna, it's the business page that does the automated reach out and things like that, because he finds the languaging and the tone is not his voice. And I think that's a valid thing to look at, is like the messaging you're sending. Who is it coming from? Is it coming from the business account, or is it coming from my LinkedIn page? And then your question as well, Nick, around how, 10 to 20 minutes a day. Even spread out day after day, consistency.
Yeah,
Cool. So do
for sure.
you have something to say? I don't want to interrupt you.
Just about people want to connect with people on LinkedIn. Company pages, the way I look at it, it's a trust signal. If I want to, people will do research on you before they ever really reach out to you. So if you're sending a cold email, if you're sending a connection request, people are going to look at your profile, and they're going to say, "Does this person of value to me when I connect to them? What's sort of their intention? Are they real? Are they going to just spam me with whatever?" And so understanding that people want to connect with people, but having a company page that is at least posted, ideally once a month, every 2 weeks, sort of thing, is a content piece that now you can share uh, to everyone in your team. So drop it into a Slack channel, the post URL. Hey, everyone, looking for a repost on this. And so now you get that sort of two birds, or however many birds, with that one stone. But also, if I'm researching a company and I pop over and they have 4 followers and haven't posted since never, I'm not encouraged by that. And I think just
Yeah.
a simple post, we know it's not difficult to create something, and everyone's throwing these horrendous ChatGPT images when Midjourney is so much better. They're all throwing them out there, but it's not hard. It takes you minutes to create a piece of content with all these AI tools and stuff. But it's something that reminds me that this company is active.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's the people are doing research when you message them, and they're going to go, "Oh, who do they work? What is the company that?" And let me check that out. What are the
Exactly.
content? What are they doing? What do they say?
Yeah.
Are they legit?
Yeah.
Does it smell funny?
Yeah.
um,
For sure.
so, and we've spoken a lot about the LinkedIn, the different automation tools that can link up with LinkedIn, and then Sales Navigator, and how really a critical piece to making sure you're going to get the most out of your campaigns and your outreach process. Is there like has there been in a workflow or an automation, anything around what we've spoken about so far that's been a game changer with the LinkedIn or Sales Navigator, these outreach campaigns? Anything that you've done where it was just like, wow, that was a big difference? Robert, you mentioned having that power and that posting. It's like, okay, actually, I'm getting a few meetings from this, and that was simple. So I'd love to hear if there's anything that really changed the game for you guys, or you saw like a huge improvement on your outreach.
Yeah. One thing real quick. So again, the power end is just a little side hustle. It's you pay it, you set it up, you walk away from it, and you just get good value from it. You'll probably get a few meetings. For me, the game changer for me, again, as somebody who shares the same ICP, same profile as our attendees, was getting into Expandy and realizing, you know what, this thing has a lot of firepower. There's a lot of cool stuff this thing can do, and I don't get it. And I'm running a company. I don't have time to figure all this out, spend all day on this thing, become an expert at this thing. It was getting a certified pro, bringing Matt in and showing him what I'd set up. I kind of hacked it up, and I got it like, I don't know, 33% there. And Matt went in there and immediately said, "Oh, you didn't turn on the flim flam. Oh, you got to do that. Oh, you're not doing that. You got to do this. You're not doing this and that." Like, well, and he's like talking about it like he is right now. I'm like, you know what? Do it. Just do it. I'll pay you to do it. Turn this thing on, optimize this thing, maximize this thing. So for me, the game changer is having a professional in there that knows the software, that can set everything up properly, and then do ongoing management.
Yeah.
Which is what Matt does with our clients that have this service. And that's it. That's where it really started changing for me. So now I'm getting the most out of it, which means I'm getting the best value out of my investment platform.
Love it. Thanks, Robert. Appreciate that. I think if we're going towards people, something that does when clients bring me accounts that they're sort of not really getting the traction they're looking at, we all want to say too much. We want to say too much up front. Let's just be, and I've done this so many times with founders and CEOs that are like, no, I want to do it my way. I say, no problem. I don't care who wins. Let's split test it. And I have lost that bet once. And I have now done this, I think, close to 300 times for clients. And so it is saying too much up front. Let's just be professional. Hey, I see we share mutual connections here on LinkedIn.
Totally.
I'd love to professionally connect with you if that's okay with you, with your permission, where everyone's pitch slapping and hustling down on walls of text. We can be elevated in our approach. We can be patient. We can show that we're comfortable in our own skin, and we can have these high-level conversations with people. So get in the door, because then you can say your offer, you can pitch your offer ideally, 2 weeks later. So that's not a pitch slap. People don't mind if you do ask for something, but we're not hustling to that a nanosecond after they've clicked accept connection request. So we're connecting with them, we're thanking them, we're engaging with their content over the next couple of weeks, and then it's okay to roll on. Hey, I just thought I'd introduce myself. Speaking to game changers, Sam, I like to drop a Loom video. Hey, my name is Matt. What's up? Thank you so much for connecting. I'm a total nerd for LinkedIn. I'm on Upwork, blah, 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 blah. And I just do my pitch, but more introductory. I'm not after these people. I'm not after these people with spammy approaches. It's high level, expert level.
Yeah, sorry. Just hold on.
Mute, please.
I've got him. So that's actually a really key piece of something that we found to be extremely effective right now is like pitch slapping, not just throwing the whole thing out there right away as soon as they connect, but you want to leave room for curiosity and say as little as possible, because it actually, as a human being, the brain wants to resolve problems. It wants to solve something. It wants to know. And so when you give someone just enough information for their I'm curious what this is about. And then all of a sudden you're asking them, and then they're sharing what they want or they're doing. And then the pitch comes in a natural way, and it feels like, oh, they're actually just typing back to me. I'm not talking to a bot that threw out the messages to 6,000 people. Is a really effective form of getting engagement with your messaging. Start small, say less, and create that curiosity where they're they kind of have to know, or you're just like, you're leaving so much space for what could be in the conversation that they're, they just have to get back to you, has been a really great format for getting responses.
Sam, I have a really great format for getting responses too, and it has nothing to do with AI. It's called go out to the person's website and take a minute to understand what they do.
Yeah.
All right. So you're in there, you're trying to build a relationship, you're trying to be genuine. You are being genuine, but you know what? I get these things too, right? And oftentimes, too often, I'm responding back to, hey, Mr. Lunte, I can tell that you're really changing the world with your video production, and like a bunch of stuff. You can just tell that they don't have any clue what I do. They didn't go out to my website or any of that, and my response is always, I just ignore it. If I have somebody that looks like they're like, yeah, Robert, that's interesting or whatever, you better believe it. I'm going to go boop, go to contact. I'm going to go out to their website and I'm going to find out what they're doing. We help clients make courses. So does he have a course or he doesn't have a course? Is the website loading slow or fast? What platform is he on? Does it look like 1997 and it looks sort of like garbage, or could he use some new design work? And then come back with hit some hot points. I was out of your website, Joe, and it's loading really slow. You probably know that.
Yeah.
Okay. Like, do a little work and it pays off. That's what people want to see.
Yeah. Investing time and real effort and like energy and getting to know people through their website can go a really long way. I fully agree with that. That's a recipe for success.
Intelligent conversations, talk about something that's real and show that you've taken 30 seconds to go out and look at their website.
Yeah.
It might be worth 30 grand.
Yeah. It's spot on. We've like, and it generally always pays off, right? Like it's an investment of time that, like, even if it doesn't result in a sale, you're going to develop a deeper connection with that person. And that could be a referral partner. That could be somebody who knows, you see, and they're connected to somebody who's your ICP now. And you're going to say, hey, would you mind connecting me with so-and-so? I'd love to talk. And they're like, yeah, sure. I just had a great, intelligent conversation with someone who's thoughtful, who took interest in my business and what I was up to. And yeah, I'm happy to connect you with so-and-so in my network. Another question I have around this is like, these LinkedIn sales strategies themselves, my computer freaked out for a second. How are we making sure the messaging, like the outbound messaging and the LinkedIn ads, like if we're using LinkedIn ads and outreach tools, and I know we haven't really touched on LinkedIn ads, but is there a method for ensuring that the two are aligned so that your messaging outreach and your ads are kind of aligned in the same vein? Is there a strategy you guys have for that, or a way to go about that?
Yeah, obviously we want to be singing the same song when it comes to any kind of promotional material, but without getting too sort of into the weeds, we obviously have to understand where this person is or what stage of the buying cycle they're at. And so sort of the stages of the funnel, but it is certainly ads, and I don't exactly know where everyone is with their business at this point, but ads I think are spoken about too quickly with most companies. If you have a lead, if you have a pipeline, it's an opportunity just even to start retargeting. But most companies don't have the stomach for running ads. And when I work with an ads client, and I only do LinkedIn ads at this point, they are my first question is, how much money can you spend every month without getting any results and not stopping? And that really puts it into perspective. They just kind of look at you because everyone else has told them, I'll make you $1 million, just give you $2,000 a month plus 5K in ad spend. And so just having that conversation with the client, but this might be, that might be a little far reaching for some people on the webinar here. So understanding that there's many different ways to go towards people, but trying to build like an outbound system that is going to hit them on LinkedIn, that's going to hit them with a cold email, that's going to retarget, website visitors with another sequence that's going to then follow up with potentially some content or LinkedIn ads, retargeting as well, is pretty extensive to build it out. Hopefully that answers the question.
Yeah, no. It's good to know about it. I think LinkedIn, like, ads can seem enticing, right? Because you're like, oh, I can get in front of the right person, and there's a lot of seeming advantages to it. But yeah, the amount of money you're comfortable spending without seeing any results for as long as possible. It's a great way to put it. Yeah, not stopping.
And when's the last time you saw an ad and picked up a phone and just called that company right away? Like, maybe on TikTok or whatever, you hit TikTok shop and you had to buy that whatever for the kids or grandkids or significant other or whatever. But I honestly cannot think of the last time. Now, I would have visited a website, and then I would have seen them again on LinkedIn. And then maybe because I did that, I saw a cold email, and now I know this company. And then I referred it to someone else. Hey, I haven't used them, but hey, check this out. And now they're, as a SaaS product, they're starting to appear in my daily life. And then when I do need it, it might be something I get back to weeks or months later, which is a very realistic sales cycle. When we're everyone here, I'm assuming, has sold something. And so when we're looking at our sales cycle, any outbound cold email, it just starts the sales cycle off at scale for you, but it does not take what takes you 6 months to sell and condenses it into 45 minutes after you've sent your first 400 emails. There's just not a realistic expectation of outbound. It does at scale get people to land on websites, get your messaging, introduce yourself to people, and then you can deal with that 6 months down the road.
Yeah. So we, 7 minutes left. I want to open the floor to just Q&A questions. You can shout it out, unmute yourselves.
Yes, can I, I'd like to, this is a problem that I've been considering. And so Matthew and Robert, I used to run a London-based advertising agency for the Army and Avis and people like that back in the day, very much kind of database driven. And I'm feeling out of date. I'm feeling that I want to produce some videos on MyQuest to engage in a B2B platform about finding a better way of sourcing staff. I've got lots of Loom-based content, which I used to tell myself is, personal. It's one-to-one. It's all of those good things you've been talking about. On the other side to that, I feel that I potentially look out of date, very much 1997, given the date that you chose there, Robert. And I've been having a look at AI and seeing which bits worked, and I've gone down a bit of a rabbit hole on that. And I was wondering if you could help me in, just saying, bite the bullet, Nick, get on with it. Yeah.
Do you want me to? Am I answering that? I wasn't sure.
I think we could probably both answer that from two different,
please. Yeah,
different useful perspectives. I'll go first. So I have a lovely virtual assistant from the Philippines. She's been with us for about 5 to 6 years. I've coached her. She knows how to, I'm her boss, and she knows how to get things done very quickly. So part of what you're going to need is somebody. I'm just going to say it, you're going to need some low cost labor, and somebody that can cut up and curate content for you and post it out on the platforms. Okay, so look for a really great virtual assistant. I could recommend some if you'd like. Then what I've done is anytime I've got the nice little corners, I've got the lavalier, I've got the stuff available to make videos. Okay? So you have to be willing to create some video content. All right. And then you just create the source file. And then what we do is we take a piece of we take a piece of content and we cut it up and repurpose it. So for example, this webinar today, I will take a piece of this and I will cut it up into maybe 12 or 15 different shorts and reels, put it across all the platforms, including LinkedIn. And that content, not only can I cut it up right here, but I can also take that content and put it into specialized software and have it speak in different languages and do different things with AI. So I guess what I'd say is get yourself a good VA. get yourself 2 good AI-enabled video editing apps, and I can make recommendations on those that can do really cool things for you. And curate, have her curate it and put it out on the platforms. I hope that's helpful. It requires somebody to do the hustle for you, and you got to have the technology.
Email in the chat, and I'll take this offline and follow up with you.
Yeah. I will. I'd love to help you with that. And you know, by the way, it took me a long time to kind of figure that out. That sounds simple when I just throw it out, but to kind of figure out, you know, I need to find a person. I got to coach her. Then we need the software to cut up the content that does what we needed to do. That took a little while of investigation, and then get on a rhythm and a schedule. So we're finally getting there. So I think I've figured that out. I'd be happy to give you some consultation on that.
Can you just say something about why you need a VA from the Philippines if you have Matthew?
I don't do content for them.
Well, Matthew doesn't do content, and Matthew is like $250 an hour, and my VA is $12 an hour. So yeah, so Matt's the director, and so yeah, Matt wouldn't do that kind of work for us. Matt does other stuff.
Got it. Can you put those recommendations of that you just mentioned in the chat?
Can, yes.
Thank you.
Awesome.
So basically that's social media is what I was talking about, Nick. It's basically get your social media game on, and then in addition to that, I'm also buying ads through LinkedIn with Matt, and I've got the LinkedIn stuff going on. So we have a couple of different marketing things running at the same time. Yeah.
Matt, did you have some quick comments on that? I'm conscious of time and other people asking questions.
Yeah, I appreciate the frustration. I've been in the space long enough to see so much change. I'm on Clay right now. I think I'm answering your question. You're sort of like, hey, I feel like I want to keep up, but I don't want to focus on the wrong silly tool or AI this, AI that. My personal experience has been AI is the new NFT. Guys are out there selling it because they can. It gets the templates. Look at my N8N template, comment template below, and I'll give it to you. And people have no idea what to do with the Google Doc of 48 pages that comes their way. And most people that I speak to that are heavily focused on, oh, I got to get this AI agent to automate my business, have no defined pipeline or even use a CRM. So what are we exactly automating? And so I wouldn't get lost with the shiny objects. And I know it's easy to, and we feel like we're being left behind because that's all the content on LinkedIn right now. But having some automation, this is an AI automation is just an if-then logic. And then it's moving forward. We're having those conversations. Like Robert said, we're doing a little bit of research on these people. And of course, with tools like Clay, if you're going to get into AI, I think Clay and maybe like an OpenAI API would be you'd be weaponized at that point, and that's not expensive to set up every month. You do not need a 75-step agentic workflow with N8N or make.com. You just don't need it. You really have to know what you're doing. You'll be married to whoever put that together for you off of whatever platform. And so that's my honest opinion is sales isn't going away. And if I was going to spend some good money on a company and I picked up a call and someone called me and it was some poorly designed chatbot, I would hang up and move to the next person that actually spent time with me. Maybe I'm the old guy around here talking like that, but everything is just fluffery. From my experience, there are obviously some real incredible practitioners out there, but most people do not need them. Unless you have something where you're truly losing track of time and you're spending too much. I have automations, or they're called scenarios on Make. I have N8N going, but these are like simple, that happens and this happens. It's not a native integration with the software. So I move that data over. It is not all these crazy things that people are talking about. So yeah, hopefully that helps.
So Matt works in a world of really high grade commercial, like big guy stuff. I've seen the apps that he works with, and that's not what he's recommending. He has that because he needs that for some clients that are like really large, and that's his business. Like, so he works with the big, gnarly, robust enterprise stuff that's out there. Not you. You need sort of like the stuff that I'm playing with, which is $40 a month, and it's a simple little AI thing that can do 10 cool things for you. So, but yeah, send me an email, you guys. I don't want to curate that right now. Send me an email if you're interested in that, and I'll make a nice little response to you on the things that I recommend, and we can take care of you that way.
Yeah, I mean, it's been really great. And also what I'll be doing. So thank you, Matthew and Robert. There's a lot of really good stuff from the webinar today. One, you'll all be getting a recording. I'm gonna be putting together like a summary of some of the stuff that was shared and some of the insights that we got. Robert's gonna be on that email as well as Matthew. So if you guys, you can just reply to that email. It'll go straight to Robert or Matthew. They can help answer the questions around the specific tools or the recommendations around the, remote work, et cetera, that they put out. And yeah, like, I really appreciate everyone's time. Porfirio, your question, I think Robert or Matthew can answer it on an email. I think it's a great question, and I don't want to leave it in the dust. I know it's actually a very relevant question for you, but overall, I just want to thank everyone for your time, and yeah, it was wonderful to have you on the call, and I appreciate everyone's questions and your contribution to the conversation today. We have a few minutes left. I'm happy to leave the room open for the next 5 minutes if anyone has any burning questions. Porfirio, if you want to stick around, we can get your question answered. That's it. Nothing else to say.
Well, I would encourage folks if they wanted to meet with us. I'm going to drop my calendar in here. Is that okay, Sam?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I have
okay.
I have some links to share. Yeah. Here's a link for CourseCREEK. Let me get that out there. I can even edit it to make it look nice, but that one, if the next webinar that we're doing with CourseCREEK is around corporate clients, procuring the clients, the actual proposals, the pitches, and how to onboard corporate clients. The registration link for that webinar is there in the chat. And if you're interested in connecting with MyQuest for anything, let us know. That's my booking link, the shortened bit.ly link there.
Cool. And just just correct this. This is not so hot. This is Shabanks Chowdhury. If you got to our team page, Sam, it's not so hot that's in this.
What's that?
Our next event, we can take it offline, but you have the guest is not so hot Hassan. It's Shabanks Chowdhury.
Oh, okay. I'll update it.
Yeah, thanks.
Sam, is there a video of this one? I couldn't get on until a half hour late, so
Yeah.
I'd love to see it. Is there?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll send a recording. It'll either be tonight, or if we can get it cut up and graphicked with some stuff, it'll be tomorrow. But you'll get it.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Thank you for coming. Hopefully this was helpful for you.
Yeah. Appreciate everyone's time.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sam. Thank you, Sam, for offering this to us.
Yeah,
Of
thanks,
course,
Sam.
Neil. Yeah, of course, guys.
Can't do it without Sam.
I'm looking forward to seeing everyone in the next webinar, next conversation. I hope you all have a great day, a great weekend, and we'll be in touch.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.